I never once imagined that right before my college graduation, my family's company would be completely sabotaged by rivals and forced into a total, devastating bankruptcy.
Crushed by that massive debt, my parents tragically passed away. I completely fell apart after that, just sleepwalking through my miserable days, and I never even managed to get my college degree. My girlfriend, Tam Teng Mat, completely ignored her family's strict objections and firmly decided to stay right by my side. Thanks to Tam Teng Mat constantly encouraging and helping me, I finally decided to face reality, put in the hard work, and start a new business. I wanted to revive it. Total disaster. The startup road was incredibly rough, almost cursed. No matter how hard I tried, every single attempt ended in massive failure. Tam Teng Mat never cared that my family had lost absolutely everything, and she totally ignored the fact that I was just a broke failure. Not only did she never force me to spend money on her, but she constantly pulled out her own money to support me instead. She constantly cheered me on to keep pushing. I was so incredibly moved by her, and she became my absolute only reason to persist all this time. By our 6th year together, I secretly took all the money I had carefully saved up from living incredibly frugally and quietly bought a diamond ring. I was fully planning to get down on one knee and propose to her right on my very own birthday. But then, I completely accidentally stumbled right across her private chat history on the computer. Everything is perfectly prepared, just waiting for the brand new product launch press conference now. Teng Mat, you worked so incredibly hard. Once this is all perfectly done, we will get married. The only reason I saw this conversation was because she went out and completely forgot to log off WeChat on her computer. The sender of the message was actually named Kai Bo Dat from Bak Tang Technology Company. I know Kibo Dat. He is a huge rising star in the tech industry these past few years, and his Bak Tan company is growing insanely fast. But why would he send a message exactly like that to Tam Teng Mat? Was it just a simple typo? Now watch this closely. Even a wrong number would not magically call her Teng Mat. My brain felt completely struck by lightning, entirely overwhelmed. And before I could even process the absolute madness of it, Tam Teng Mat had already typed back a quick reply to him directly from her phone. The program is still pretty unstable, so if there is no rush, wait a bit. Check it several times before the big release. Fix any bugs and ensure absolutely nothing goes wrong. Why did Tam Teng Mat understand Kibo Dat's new software program so incredibly well? Mentioning an unstable program immediately reminded me of the heavily flawed project I recently developed myself, which still had pretty low stability. Could it really just be a completely random coincidence like that? I quickly scrolled up to read the chat history. Pure shock. The older messages made me feel even more dizzy and sick. Baby, I already told Trantrack that I have to work overtime today, so after work, I will come right to you. I even brought a gift. Was Tam Teng Mat really gifting her own self to Kaibo Dat? Darling, Trantrack is going on a business trip tomorrow, so we can finally be all alone together again. Darling, Trantrack's big pitch totally failed again, and absolutely nobody invested a dime. You can just completely relax now. Checking the dates closely, it perfectly matched the exact day I pitched my brand new self-service ordering program to an angel investment firm. Right after failing, I started developing a completely new program and sent it straight to her. Love you so much. Beyond those absolutely sickening and completely disgusting conversations, there were also several highly explicit photos that were just entirely unacceptable. I never expected Tam Teng Mat to cruelly betray me like this. Zero shame. She barely bothered to delete her filthy chat history. Probably because I trusted her way too much and never once touched her personal phone or computer, she felt absolutely no need to hide anything from me. Tam Teng Mat was actually my college classmate, or more accurately, she was my junior. We studied totally different majors, and her family was pretty wealthy too. When we first got together, we were actually considered a pretty equal match in status. But right after my family went totally bankrupt, her mom instantly despised me. Ultimately, it is perfectly understandable. As a caring parent, absolutely everyone desperately wants their beloved daughter to marry someone highly capable to secure a truly bright future. Back then, it was Tam Teng Mat who firmly told her angry mother that I was a highly capable person, swearing she would never ever abandon me. She even completely starved herself on a hunger strike for a whole week, crying wildly at home until her mother finally reluctantly gave in.
Those vivid memories are still permanently burned into my brain. I genuinely thought she truly loved me. But here is the sick twist. Her only real goal in staying with me was to steal every single program I developed. No degree. But even without it, I possess true natural genius in the tech field.
Ever since high school, I have actually won numerous massive international awards. Perhaps that raw talent is exactly why Tamtang Mat stubbornly decided to never leave me.
Tan Mat, come over to my place tonight so we can test it together. A sudden text message from Kibo Dat completely interrupted my racing thoughts.
And right after that, my own phone abruptly buzzed loudly with a fresh text from Tamtang Mat. Darling, I am working overtime tonight, so eat first because I have so much work. Do not wait for me. Before, this was just an incredibly normal message, as her working late was super common. But thinking back right now, was she just straight up lying to my face every single time? Her supposed overtime or sudden business trips were probably all just her sneaking off to meet Kaibo Dat. I simply typed back a casual reply. Got it. Please stay safe. After that, I aggressively dug out even more sickening things from her computer, including the complete transfer history of my fully developed programs to Kaibo Dat, and shockingly, even explicit videos of Tamtang Mat and Kaibo Dat completely together. I immediately backed up the absolute entirety of her hard drive, just in case I desperately needed it. After all, this is highly beneficial, concrete evidence for my side, and exactly as expected, Tamtang Mat truly never came home that long night. I sit there looking at the birthday cake on the table, glancing at the ring box beside it, laughing like a complete idiot. Because honestly, I really am that stupid. So blindly foolish that I never doubted Tamtang Mat even once. Even the core files for my smaller programs, the databases, I never kept backups for myself. I handed everything over to her without a single second thought. And that exact blind trust gave her the perfect chance to strike. Maybe she had this whole thing planned out from the very beginning. But thankfully, fate stepped in, letting me see Tamtang Mat's true face before it was too late. That night, everything clicks. I immediately schedule a meeting with my lawyer, because anything involving legal action definitely needs a professional touch. By the time I actually make it back to the apartment, Tamtang Mat is already home. She leans lazily against the sofa, giving off this incredibly charming vibe. She calls out, "Honey, you were back? Where did you run off to just now?"
Tamtang Mat asks. I tell her I just took a quick walk in the park for inspiration, blaming my recent writer's block for not being able to code.
She looks at the cake on the table and apologizes for completely forgetting my birthday yesterday. I brush it off, telling her it is fine. It means nothing. We are adults now. What is the point of celebrating birthdays anyway? I reply coldly. Tamtang Mat casually brings it up again, saying that once my current project actually succeeds, we should finally get married. Watch this pattern. It is pretty messed up. This is not her first time mentioning marriage, but it always comes with that same condition, only after I succeed. Yet I keep failing. And the reasons for failure? Absolutely everywhere. Like my developed program getting its servers hacked right before launch, or my data suddenly vanishing when pitching to angel investors. Honestly, every bizarre excuse you can think of has happened to me. I honestly used to think that marrying her without becoming successful first would be an incredibly irresponsible move on my part. So I constantly told myself I had to fight until the very end to succeed, just so I would not ever let Tamtang Mat down. But success always stays out of reach, making me think this is my absolute limit. I tell her regretfully that I have made her suffer these past few years. She immediately pushes back. What are you talking about? She claims she'd never felt wronged and insists she knows my true potential, saying my success is only a matter of time. She asks if I hadn't said before that my newly developed AI system was definitely going to be a massive hit. She says this while looking right at me. And honestly, just mentioning that AI system makes me absolutely furious. On the surface, it looks fine, but the code constantly scrambles during execution, and I still cannot find the cause. I shake my head, but she reassures me, telling me someone as skilled as me will definitely fix it. Then she yawns, saying she worked overtime yesterday and has not slept yet, so she really wants to rest.
Tamtang Mat mumbles to just call her when dinner is ready, barely able to keep her eyes open. Like always, I cook for her, playing along because I still do not have enough solid evidence.
I still need to quietly gather proof to show that the new program Kibo is about to release is actually my stolen AI system. The next morning, right after Mat leaves for work, I receive an email from 4 different private investigator agencies.
They list out every single software program released by Baktang Technology from the very moment the company was founded until now. Over 90% of them perfectly match the projects I supposedly failed at developing. The tech industry I work in is actually extremely competitive. Everyone is constantly racing each other. If you make a shopping app, I make one too. You build an entertainment platform, I do the exact same. Because of that normal rivalry, I never once suspected Baktang Technology of copying my hard work. After securing all the necessary evidence, I send Mart a quick text. I tell her I just received an urgent notice for an overseas AI system conference. I say I will be back in a few days. I actually do travel overseas, but not to study. I go to negotiate business with a company that previously showed massive interest in my AI system. The deal closes. A huge weight finally lifts off my shoulders. But get this, when I return home, I find the door completely unlocked. And from inside, I hear Mat's voice echoing out. She sounds panicked, asking what to do since the password is still wrong. If they fail one more time, it could trigger the security system, and I would definitely find out. He suggests ripping out the hard drive so his company's tech team can decrypt it. She immediately refuses, saying if Chan Trek comes back, he will definitely notice it missing. Mat sounds incredibly worried, but he just scoffs, asking what she is so afraid of, since he literally said, I was studying overseas. He insists there is no way I could return that fast. And even if I do, he says she is a great actor and can easily distract me outside. Kibo pushes her, but Mat hesitates for a second, murmuring that this really does not feel right. He immediately shoots back, asking if she even cares about their future. He admits leaving her before was his mistake, but now that they have a chance to make things right, she really needs to cherish it. Plus, he adds that once this new product launch press conference is finally over, the total market value of Baktang Technology is going to instantly double. He keeps persuading her, promising that she will become the lady boss of Baktang, so it won't even matter if I find out the truth or not. Honestly, I am not worried at all about them stealing my hard drive, because my actual data is absolutely not stored on that home desktop computer. What I really care about is that press conference they just mentioned. Not wanting to ruin their little mood, I turn around and quietly walk away. For the next few days, I don't go back home, and I completely avoid contacting Mat altogether. We finally cross paths again on the exact day right before Baktang Technology is scheduled to host their massive press conference. I brought back some nice souvenirs from my trip abroad for Mat's parents. After all, living with Mat these past few years, her folks have actually helped me out quite a bit. But, to my absolute surprise, when I reach the Shen family gates, I spot Bodette already standing right there. Mom, Dad, this is my friend Bodette, the boss over at Baktang Tech. Mat introduces him to her parents. He politely greets them. He apologizes for not having the chance to visit them sooner. Bodette chats smoothly with Mat's parents like they are old friends. Take a seat. Mat's dad warmly invites him to sit down. He mentions he brought a small gift for them, nothing too major. Bodette says casually, "It definitely looks like he prepared this whole entrance well in advance. Why are you being so polite?" Mat's mom chimes in. She tells little Bodette it has been so long, he has grown up so much, a truly talented young man. Turns out she already knew him. Right then, the Shen family maid spots me and calls me inside. "Little truck, you made it too. Come over here and sit down." Mat's dad greets me with a warm smile. Beside him, Mat just stares at me in pure shock, completely caught off guard by my sudden appearance here. "When did you get back?" Mat asks me. "I just arrived," I tell her, adding that maybe my timing is pretty bad. I purposely ask if I am interrupting something going on. She tells me not to misunderstand at all, then quickly introduces Bodette from Baktang Tech. Just listen to the excuse she comes up with. She claims since he works in tech, he might be able to help me out, so she invited him. "Help me," I repeat. "Well then, I really must thank you for letting Bodette get so close to me," I tell her with heavy sarcasm. She actually agrees. She points out my new project is struggling, so I could conveniently ask Bodette for some much-needed advice today. She boldly brags about how well his company is doing lately, showing absolutely zero shame. "Hello, Mr. Tran." Bodette stands up, takes a few steps forward, smiles at me, and confidently holds out his hand. How should I even describe this guy? He looks like a refined, elegant scholar, Not just incredibly handsome, but his proportions are perfectly balanced. Literally built like a runway model with this undeniably commanding aura. Standing next to him, I feel miles behind, genuinely embarrassed by the huge gap between us. I politely shake his hand. Right away, I catch this incredibly arrogant, looking down on everyone vibe deep in his eyes.
Bodat rarely visits, so you all should stay for dinner. I will go prepare some food right now.
Tangma's mom says with overwhelming enthusiasm, but I know for a fact her hospitality is definitely not meant to keep me around. Ever since my family went bankrupt, she has never once respected me. Now with Bodat here for comparison, I feel even smaller. Auntie, I only came to drop off these gifts for you and Uncle.
I will head out now, so I do not bother anyone. I take the initiative to leave. Little Track, do not rush off. Have a few drinks with me. Let us play chess later.
Tangma's dad tells me, honestly, her dad accepted me a long time ago. It is just her mom who constantly looks down on me from the bottom of her heart. No thanks, Uncle. I will visit another day. I really have things to do.
After saying that, I immediately stand up and walk out. Tanmat does not even try to stop me. This is exactly what I expected. With me gone, their little family of 4 can happily eat dinner together, without me being an eyesore ruining the mood.
That evening, I have zero plans to return to Taimat's place, but she decides to start her little act first.
She texts me, "Honey, do not come home just yet. The upstairs neighbor had a massive water leak and it completely flooded our apartment ceiling. They are fixing it right now, so we cannot stay there." I just glance at the message and say absolutely nothing back. The very next day is Baktang Tech's press conference.
Before the meeting even starts, the media is already hyping it up everywhere. I tune in and watch the entire live broadcast. At the press event, Tanmat shows up walking arm in arm with Bodat. They are smiling brightly, looking exactly like a deeply in love couple.
Hey, look at that. Director Tangmat and Director Bodat really are an item. Those two look so incredibly good together.
One of the staff members at the event gossips. No way! I saw her boyfriend before. He looks like a really honest guy. Someone else chimes in. I heard he was her college sweetheart. Such a cute and sweet campus romance back then.
Another voice whispers that after graduation, he became a total failure, completely surviving off director Tangmat's money. The crowd is buzzing with all kinds of wild rumors.
The press conference begins, and Bodat introduces their new AI system, proudly demonstrating its core functions and how to use it.
This AI system is specifically designed to be a virtual lover. You can customize its appearance to your exact liking, have real-time video chats with it,
And simultaneously link it to smart home devices like your lights, the air conditioner, and even the rice cooker.
After the pitch, it is time for the reporter question and answer session. Excuse me, can absolutely anyone use this system? Is there any kind of age restriction?
One reporter stands up to ask. We have carefully considered the age limit, Bodat replies. When registering an account, you must provide your ID number, so minors cannot sign up.
Bodat finishes his answer. Then another reporter asks, does this virtual character possess real emotions? He claims it is just a virtual image capable of chatting, acting as a companion for the user, but it does not have real feelings. Bodat answers. Then another question hits. Could you please demonstrate the entire registration process for us? Does this 18+ app contain any restricted adult content? If someone accidentally uninstalls and then reinstalls it, will it completely keep all of its previous memories? But here is the catch. The reporters keep firing off tough questions left and right. Clearly, Bodat cannot handle the pressure because he barely understands his own tech. He then hands the stage over to the company technician to demonstrate everything, from creating the virtual avatar to chatting with it and controlling the lights and air conditioning. But right in the middle of the big demonstration, the main screen suddenly glitches out, and the avatar vanishes completely. The technician nervously apologizes over the speakers, blaming an unstable local network and promising a quick restart. Down in the front row, Kibu Dot and Thumb Tang Mot are suddenly looking pretty panicked. Jun Jack suddenly stands right up in the press area and calls them out. You stole my entire hard drive and still cannot fix this? The crowd starts whispering. Who is that guy? People are super confused about what he is saying, but someone quickly recognizes him as CEO Thumb's actual boyfriend. Another person snickers. Well, no wonder she swapped him out. Honestly, they say they would pick the very handsome CEO Key too. The whole room breaks into wild gossip. Kiboda tries to save face and demands to know what on earth Chunchak is saying.
He fires right back at him, and Thumbtang Mat asking if stealing his hard drive was fun. He declares that he built this AI system entirely by himself. He exposes Thumbtang Mat right there. That so-called original product she handed over to Kibodat, it was honestly nothing more than an empty digital shell. Before, whenever she handed stolen software to Chibodat, the guy at least bothered to change the interface. But this time around, they were far too lazy to even swap out the basic design.
She yells at Trintrek to stop spouting total nonsense, loudly denying that she ever stole his work.
Of course, Thumbtang Mat denies it completely. He just smirks, telling her she can keep denying it, but she better tell the cops.
Right on cue, the massive display screen behind them flashes all the hard evidence he carefully collected. It clearly shows the exact programming logs Thumbtang Mat secretly forwarded to Kibodat.
It even reveals their full chat history alongside the very source code that Baktang Tech just publicly announced.
Everything is put side by side with Trontrack's original data. The crowd gasps. Wow, they really did not expect him to pull off a move like this. People start debating if he actually made all this tech. Some still think it is totally impossible, guessing he just wants to leech off Baktang's massive fame and money. They whisper that his evidence could easily be completely faked. The entire hall instantly spirals into absolute chaos. She fiercely screams at Trontrack, calling him a useless failure who framed them with totally faked evidence. She insists he is the only one who needs to explain himself to the police today.
Thumbtang Mat pushes back extremely hard. He just shrugs and tells her to call the cops then. Let them investigate and figure out exactly who is actually lying here.
But here is where things go completely off the rails. Before anyone dials the police, the screen flashes some very inappropriate videos of Thumbtang Mat and Kibodat. The footage is incredibly vivid, if you catch my drift. Everyone can hear her voice echoing through the massive speakers. The two of them are intensely tangled together, making the whole crowd blush furiously. Then, a sharp voice interrupts, introducing himself as the legal representative for the UIN group. The lawyer drops a massive bomb. The Virtual Lover AI software announced today is entirely copyrighted by the UIN group. In fact, they already officially launched this exact application early yesterday morning. He firmly demands they shut down this press conference immediately. This serious speaker is the top lawyer representing the powerful UIN group. It turns out that Chun-Trek's recent mysterious overseas trip was actually to sign a major contract, completely selling his entire original software project directly to the massive UIN group. Backed by a much more professional team, UIN easily solved the unstable data issues that Trontrek had been struggling to fix. They even registered the copyright and rushed the product to market first. Thumbtang Mat absolutely loses it, screaming out, asking how this could even be possible. The lawyer holds up the official transfer contract between their company and Trontrek. The contract clearly states he sold the complete technology to UIN for an insane $2 billion. The crowd loses their minds. It is actually worth that much? Since UIN is such a gigantic corporation, they know for a fact this cannot be a lie. If he just copied Baktang's technology, why on earth would Yuan ever spend that kind of crazy money to buy it? Chun-Jack quietly slips away from the chaotic scene, but he is certainly not letting this slide. He makes a quick call to the police, and authorities rush in to arrest both Thumbtang Mat and Kibodat. Right after she gets dragged away, her desperate parents immediately blow up his phone. Her father sounds utterly crushed, apologizing for trusting his daughter and saying he feels terrible for making Chun-Trek so much all these years.
He admits he always knew Trontrek was incredibly capable, but he simply never expected things to end up like this.
Chun-Trek còm lý theo father, nói không phải lo về nó. Honestly, với tạo Thumbtang Mat bấy chảy hin, he probably never would have found the inspiration to develop such a massive software upgrade.
He actually owes her a pretty big thanks. Suddenly, her mother jumps on the line, desperately begging him for a major favor. Thumbtang Mat's mother is crying uncontrollably. She pleads that they only have one daughter, begging Chun-Trek to just drop the entire lawsuit against her. She promises to pay whatever compensation he wants. He cuts her off, telling her this isn't about money, because he definitely does not lack any now.
Besides, with their family's current financial ruin, they probably do not even have much to offer anyway. He coldly suggests she worry about her own survival first.
You can probably guess exactly what happens next. He hangs up the phone without another word. The second that scandalous press conference footage fully leaks, social media completely explodes with wild debates.
This massive PR disaster directly tanks the overall stock price of the powerful Thumb Group.
It continuously drops several brutal percentage points. The very next day, her father tracks him down in person, practically begging Trontrack to save him just this once. He says they can deal with his daughter's mess later, but they absolutely cannot just let the family company die.
Chunchak completely brushes him off, claiming he knows nothing about finance and simply cannot help with their failing company at all.
The funny thing is, Trontrack actually considered helping the old man out since he finally had enough spare cash to bail the company out once. But all that sympathy vanished the night before when a private detective handed him a very interesting stack of hidden documents.
Turns out, the Thumb Group actually used to be a major competitor to my parents' old company. And the one operating in the shadows, ruining my family and forcing that bankruptcy, was Tham Tang Mat. Back then, she had not even graduated college, yet she was already scheming so hard. She played the perfect angel, sticking by my side every single step of the way, totally fooling me into believing her love was genuine. Unexpectedly, it was all a ploy to get me building software for her lover completely free of charge. I got played by her for years, so yeah, there is absolutely no way I am helping the Tham family now. I have to get justice for my parents.
Watching their family crumble is my only satisfaction. Her dad actually told me, "Little Track, you might not get finance, but you have cash, so help me survive this. Just treat it as a loan."
He swore he would definitely pay me back double later on.
I politely turned the old man down. I told him straight up, "Uncle, I haven't withdrawn those funds yet. Everything is invested overseas, so my hands are completely tied here." I asked him not to bother me anymore. After making things crystal clear, I decided to leave this toxic place behind and start a completely fresh life.
I changed my number right away and bought a nice ocean view apartment over in Haitung.
I love watching the ocean, just listening to the crashing waves whenever things get stressful. Simply standing out on the balcony looking at the water calms my mind so much better than drowning my sorrows ever could.
But peace never lasts long in these situations. I barely settled in before Tham Tham Mat tracked me down. Turns out she was only brought in for questioning.
The whole software theft case still needed more time for verification, so she was let go after just 48 hours.
She cried out my name, saying she finally found me. I just stared back. We have absolutely nothing to do with each other anymore, so stop looking for me. She claimed she thought a lot after I left, admitting she was wrong. Then she actually begged to go back to how we used to be. Her dad's company just went bankrupt, and she literally sobbed that she simply could not bear to lose me too.
I shut that down fast. We broke up. Tham Tang Mat, why don't you just go run to Kibo Dot? He is the one who truly belongs with you, right?
She desperately insisted he was just a mistake and that I was her true love, claiming she only made a simple error any girl could make.
Hearing that absolute nonsense, I just burst out laughing. She was genuinely hilarious.
It is not that you cannot leave me, you just cannot leave my tech products, right? Well, get ready for major disappointment because I have completely quit the industry.
From now on, no more software development for me. I am done. She immediately panicked, screaming that I had too much natural talent,
Begging me not to give up, saying every single design idea of mine was brilliant and totally ahead of its time. What, am I supposed to stick around so you can steal more stuff for Kaibo debt? Quitting is my own choice. Then she shifted gears, asking if I could just promise her one final thing.
She wanted compensation for all the years she sacrificed staying by my side. Hearing those twisted words from Tham Tham Mat made me laugh even harder.
Compensate me? What in the world do you think you actually sacrificed? You want to compensate me for completely ruining my parents, bankrupting my entire company, and pushing my family into such a tragic, heartbreaking end?
Was that not all you're doing? She aggressively shook her head, denying it instantly.
She cried that my parents' incident happened back in school, claiming she never had that kind of power. I fired right back. What about Kaibo Dat? You two definitely colluded on this, didn't you?
She swore it wasn't like that.
claiming my parents and the Tham family had a fair competition, and that my company's sudden bankruptcy totally caught them off guard too.
Enough, Tom Mott. Seriously, drop the fake innocent act.
Once I gather enough solid evidence, I am handing it straight to the police. Save those top-tier acting skills to use down at the station instead.
She whispered that she would not argue if I already made up my mind, but pleaded with me to forgive Kaibo-dat, insisting he was completely innocent.
Claiming she was the only one who stole my program. I chuckled again. All that talk about not being able to leave me? I was almost moved for a second.
Turns out she just could not bear to lose Kaibo-dat, but honestly, that software program has absolutely nothing to do with me anymore.
I already sold the entire thing to the Yuan Group. Whether they decide to sue you guys or not is entirely their business, not my call to make. All right, do not ever bother me again. With those final words, I turned and walked away.
But if you think she gave up there, you are wrong. Tom Mott refused to leave. She must have rented a nearby hotel, because from that day forward, I saw her face every single day.
One afternoon, she actually showed up carrying a fresh cake, just waiting right outside my front door. Apologizing for forgetting my birthday, she wanted to make it up to me. She told me she baked it herself, claiming she knew how much I loved eating sweet cake.
Tham Thanh Mat smiled so brightly. I shut her down. No thanks, I have never liked sweets. Cake is what you always liked, not me.
The moment I said that, reality finally hit her.
Like she suddenly remembered I only bought those cakes back then just to watch her eat them happily, while I never took a single bite. I told Tham Mott to stop this absolute nonsense and stop wasting my time.
I told her to get out, but she stubbornly refused, insisting she had to clearly explain one specific thing to me.
She claimed I was wrong about her loving Kaibo-dat deep down, swearing her feelings for him were purely based on gratitude.
Handing over my program was apparently just her way of repaying a debt, with zero romantic feelings involved, pointing out they had just known each other since they were little kids.
Once, after a massive fight with her parents, she ran away from home, ran into some street thugs, and he was the one who saved her.
If it wasn't for him, the consequences would be quite unimaginable. He got his bones broken saving me and stayed hospitalized for so long, so I always wanted to repay him.
Tham Thanh Mat just keeps rambling on and on. Chunchak, can you please forgive me?
I know you are not that petty. You still have some feelings for me, right? Tham Thanh Mat stares at me with these wide, pleading eyes. I just shake my head and smile. What do you even expect me to say here? Having a grateful heart is fine, but you fell for the completely wrong guy.
I actually saved you back then, not Kibu-dat. Tham Mart completely freezes up at that revelation. What? How is that even remotely possible?
Kibu-dat was clearly in the hospital for ages back then. But the truth? I got chased into an alley by those punks and beaten half to death for you.
After that, my parents thought some rivals were out for my blood, so they strictly locked me inside the house for months.
As for Kaibo-dat ending up in the hospital, that was just him getting beaten up over gambling debts. You imagined this whole romantic rescue, but it was completely fake. No way. Absolutely impossible. Tham Mott still refuses to believe it. Honestly, whether she buys it or not isn't my problem anymore.
I simply don't love you anymore. Whatever we had is completely over and done with. Stop coming around here to bother me.
Tham Thanh Mat looks absolutely shattered, staring blankly at me like that. A long moment later, she just turns and walks away. After that day, I don't see her around for a while.
Word is, she went straight to Kibu-dat to settle the score. Hey, Kibu-dat, how exactly did your leg break? Why are you suddenly asking about that?
I just suddenly remembered it and want the absolute truth right now. Was it really like you told me back in the day?
I got harassed, and you stepped in to save me and got your leg broken. Kibu-dat actually tries to keep the lie going.
You completely lied to me. You got hurt because loan sharks beat you up over debts, right? Come on, that was ages ago. Why bring it up now?
I can barely even remember the details. Is it really that important anyway? My feelings for you are completely genuine, and that is all that matters. So you went to beg Chunchak. How did that actually turn out? Kibu-dat clearly wants to dodge the subject, smoothly changing the topic.
I already apologized and totally begged him for forgiveness, but he completely refused to listen. Plus, he told me the final decision regarding this mess is not in his hands anymore.
Whether to press charges or not is entirely up to the Yuan Group. Tham Mott says regretfully, "This is all my fault."
Why did I ever steal the software he developed just to hand it over to you? If you wanted money, could you not just earn it yourself? Why did you force me to publish his work as my own? You completely ruined my life. Kibo-dat immediately starts shifting all the blame onto her. Now watch how fast they turn on each other. Kiboda, what are you saying? Weren't you the one begging me first?
You knew I was with counterattack, yet you still came asking me to steal his software for you. I only agreed to help out so I could finally repay your favor.
Why are you framing me now? Back then, you were the one persistently dragging me along and bringing Chuntrack's program right to my front door. If you hadn't brought it over on purpose and promised to split the profits, do you really think I would have even looked your way? Kibodat finally reveals his true ugly colors to her face. I seriously misjudged you from the very beginning. You are nothing but absolute trash.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt bursts into tears and slaps him hard across the face, then storms off. Sure enough, the UN group actually takes them both to court.
After the trial and final verdict, the UN group easily wins the lawsuit. Baktang Tech is ordered to pay them a truly massive amount of compensation. Baktang goes completely bankrupt. Kibodat is totally out of cash, so just days before the verdict kicks in, he actually tries fleeing overseas by boat. Game over. His sketchy little escape ship barely makes it out to sea before getting completely intercepted.
Kibodat immediately dumps all the blame onto Thẩm Thanh Mạt, while she swears he was the mastermind behind the whole thing.
Neither of them has a single shred of proof, so in the end, they both end up getting slapped with harsh prison sentences.
However, Thum Tang Mot turns out to be pregnant, so her sentence gets delayed. Meanwhile, down at the beach, I bump into a girl who loves the ocean just like me.
We quickly hit it off, fall deeply in love, and pretty soon we are officially tying the knot. But on the wedding day, I spot a pregnant woman watching our ceremony from a distance. Get ready for some major drama. I look closely, and it is actually Thum Tang Mot stepping closer and closer. Right as I am saying my vows, Thum Tang Mart screams out loud, I object, I completely object to this wedding. The entire crowd stares at her in absolute shock. Trunchek, how can you just get married like this? Do you not care about me and our baby anymore?
Thẩm Thanh Mạt asks với Thierry rất loud. You must be Thẩm Thanh Mạt, right?
Miss Thumb, I know the baby you are carrying has absolutely nothing to do with my husband, so please have some dignity. My wife steps up and speaks before I can even react. She already knew every single detail about my past with Thum Tang Mot, mostly because I never once tried to hide it from her. I am talking to my own boyfriend. What does this even have to do with you? Thum Tang Mot glares right at my wife, totally dismissive.
My wife just calmly looks back at her. Miss Thumb, your boyfriend is definitely not standing here. If you actually came to offer your blessing, then you are more than welcome to stay.
But if you are just here to ruin things, then sorry, I will have to ask you to leave. Trunchek, are you seriously letting people bully me and my baby?
Thẩm Thanh Mạt, call out to me. I just sigh. Thẩm Thanh Mạt, stop making a scene.
Whatever happened between us is ancient history, and my wife knows everything anyway. Causing trouble won't get you anywhere. I simply don't have any feelings for you anymore. Tran Trok, you really don't care about your own child? How can you be so absolutely heartless? Thum Tang Mot screams out.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt, I already know that kid isn't mine, so doing this is totally pointless. You get me pregnant, and now you won't even take any responsibility?
The baby is definitely yours, Thum Tang Mot insists firmly. All right, after the wedding is over, we are going to do a DNA test.
If it really is my kid, I won't run. Once the baby is born, I will absolutely raise it myself. But if it isn't, I'm immediately calling the police for serious harassment and blackmail.
Fine, but we have to wait until after the birth. Testing right now would be way too dangerous for the baby. Honestly, Thum Tang Mot is just terrified to take the test right now. If a test proves it's mine, I'll claim it. But if not, we are completely finished. Did you really think I'd just spend this whole time raising Kaibo-dat's kid for him? You must think I'm an idiot. The baby really is yours. Kaibo-dat and I were just a huge misunderstanding. Thum Tang Mot. Thum Tang Mot, are you dreaming? What misunderstanding? You claim those photos and videos are fake, but do not even try using a kid to blackmail me. If you can actually raise it, then have it. Otherwise, get rid of it. Don't make it suffer. You really think I want to have it?
I really don't want this either. I just don't want that absolute scum blaming everything entirely on me.
If I hadn't just found out I was pregnant, I would literally be serving prison time right now. I honestly didn't want to give birth, but this baby actually saved me from jail. You could basically say it's my lucky charm.
I can't just say no. Besides, the doctor said my body is pretty weak, and if I abort it, I might never get pregnant again.
So I really cannot take that risk. After Kaibodat found out I was pregnant, he actually begged me to have the baby, promising he would definitely repay me.
Tam Tan Mat just kept babbling endlessly. Now watch this. Miss Tam, as one woman to another, let me give you some advice. Trying to use a child to tie down a piece of trash really won't work.
He is absolutely never going to be touched just because you gave him a kid. So no matter what happens, you really should always put yourself first, because your own well-being is what truly matters the most.
My wife says incredibly sincerely, aren't I also thinking entirely about myself right now?
Just call me selfish, but I only decided to keep it to dodge a prison sentence. Maybe this really is just the kid's absolute destiny.
I did some pretty awful things to hurt Trang Trek before, so coming here today was honestly my way of apologizing. Thum Tang Mat, how did you change your tune so fast?
Tam Tang Mat, this really doesn't seem like your usual style at all, I mock her. Tron Trek, I am sorry. I am truly sorry.
Tam Tan Mat says this and then bows her head to me. Tam Tan Mat, please stop acting. I am never going to forgive you.
Besides, we are totally done. It's been completely over for ages.
Because I know your ultimate goal isn't just getting my forgiveness, but actually making me write a pardon letter and then raise your kid. In the end, Tam Tan Mat gets completely dragged away by the security guards.
After I finally married my wife, I promised to travel the world with her to see the ocean. So we went everywhere, exploring all sorts of different beaches, walking together on the warm sand, and watching the beautiful sunsets fade away.
Isn't this exactly what a truly happy life is all about?